Alexandra Levine coming to you live with Alexandra 360. We are live here in Florida. Tuesday, August 20th is the Florida primary. Primary time, everybody. But this is going to be very interesting. As you know, on the primary side, it is Donald J. Trump. Donald J. Trump is definitely going to win the Florida primary. In the state of Florida, it is a closed primary. And I'm down here in Sarasota County. This is what we call Trump country. But we have congressional incumbent races here. And the first one is incumbent Congressman, District 1, Congressman Matt Gaetz. As we know, he is a powerhouse. He is being challenged, but he will win his primary. He will go on into November. He's expected to win re-election in November. We have Congresswoman, Representative Anna Paulino Luna. As you know, she just came out with a very fiery commercial. She was wearing a Make America Great Again bathing suit that went viral all over X. And she is expected to advance to the general. She will win re-election in her district of 13. My congressman, incumbent Congressman Greg Steube of District 17, that's his picture right there. He will definitely advance. He doesn't really have a challenger in the primary, but he will definitely go into the general. He will advance. Sarasota County, where I live, is a very red county. And I can tell you great things about my congressman. He served in Iraq. He was in Operation Iraqi Freedom. He is very, very, very America first. And what I love about my congressman is he really listens to the constituents. He was one of the first congressmen to actually come out and personally endorse President Donald J. Trump on Newsmax. And he has just been great for the constituents in Sarasota County and in his district. We also have Congressman Brian Donalds, who's in District 19. He will definitely advance into the general. He will win re-election in his district of 19. Congressman Representative Mike Waltz, District 6, that was Governor Ron DeSantis' district. He will advance. He will win re-election in his district. And we have Congressman Corey Mills. Everyone knows about him also. He served in the military in District 7. He will win the primary. He will also advance in November and win re-election. He was also in charge of getting a lot of hostages released that were abducted that were taken during October 7th. And he brought a lot of those hostages back to Florida because Joe Biden wasn't doing anything. When we had 1,200 innocent people that were murdered on October 7th. Corey Mills said we have Americans from Florida, from all over the nation, and he did his own sting operation to bring a lot of these hostages back to Florida with Governor Ron DeSantis. But the biggest race right now is the incumbent U.S. Senator, Rick Scott. He is up for re-election. He will definitely win his primary. He will definitely win re-election. I've looked at his Democratic challengers. Not one of them could even beat Rick Scott. Florida is a red state. It will remain red. Governor Ron DeSantis has said, Kamala Harris can come down here. She can campaign down here, but Florida will remain red. Even when Governor DeSantis, leaves in 2 years because he is term limited, he'll be out after 2 years. Hopefully, God willing, we will have another Republican governor to take over, and Florida will remain red for a long time. We need President Trump to win Florida for him to, win the presidency. And Florida is President Trump's residency, and so is it. And it is the residency of his children. And President Trump will definitely win Florida. Governor DeSantis has reported that he has done everything he can to secure the elections in Florida so that there will be no shenanigans. There have been people that have called the governor to remove all of the electronic machines from Florida for years. But Florida is a 2-to-1 Republican state. They have a lot of engineers, data scientists, data analysts that are personally there watching every single ballot, making sure that they have proper people that are counting the ballot, that there isn't any shenanigans, because, again, it's the person who counts the ballots, as we all know. But the governor has assured everyone in the state of Florida that the election will be secure in November 4th. President Trump should win the great state of Florida, and Rick Scott should win his reelection. There has been calls for Senator Rick Scott to be the Senate majority leader once the Republicans take back the Senate. President Trump and the Republicans are pushing really hard for the Republicans to take back the Senate. So we have a Republican House of Representatives and a Republican Senate, and then we'll have a Republican president like President Trump had when he was elected in January of 2017. It's very important when we have those three branches of government to be fully red so we can get things done. But we have to have proper people in place. And I know Rick Scott. I know him personally. I worked for him when he was the governor. I worked for him when he became the senator. And he has been with President Trump on a lot of things. He's been very supportive of President Trump on a lot of things. And again, we need senators in there that will vote for Rick Scott to take over that Senate majority leadership. Rick Scott actually challenged Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell for that leadership role. And I wholeheartedly believe that Rick Scott will be a very good Senate Majority Leader. I know John Thune, because he has been with Mitch McConnell, from the beginning. He feels that, he's entitled, as well as John Barrasso, as well as John Cornyn. I know Steve Daines wants that leadership role as well. But Rick Scott is very learned. Rick Scott knows how to raise money. Rick Scott has formed PACs. Again, we want somebody in there that will back President Trump. We want someone in there that won't buck President Trump. We want a Senate majority leader that will get the job done for the people, but also will work with President Trump on a lot of these legislative things that need to be passed for we the people. And I wholeheartedly believe that Senator Rick Scott would be a great Senate majority leader. And like I said, there has been calls for Rick Scott to be the Senate majority leader. We also have some great incumbent senators, such as Senator Josh Hawley of Missouri, Senator Marsha Blackburn from Tennessee. She's also up for re-election. These are great senators that are America First senators that support President Trump that need to be reelected. We also have some flips that need to flip. We have Montana that's up for grabs. We have Ohio that's up for grabs. We have Pennsylvania Senate seat that's up for grabs. Those are important. Those are important Senate seats to really look at. Senator Ted Cruz, he's up for re-election in Texas. We need to secure that seat. Those are the focus states. These upper liberal states that have flipped Senate seats, that's not really the focus. The focus are states that President Trump can win and Senate seats that President Trump can win. And that is where the money is now being pushed by big donors. Miriam Adelson, who's a big Jewish donor, she is putting a lot of money into a super PAC, I think $100 million into a super PAC to secure that President Trump wins re-election, but also to make sure that we get a big majority on the Republican side, that we get the Senate majority, that we get the majority back for the Republican side for the Senate. And again, it's states that President Trump can win, like Montana, for example, like Pennsylvania, which again, we're reading these poll numbers and they're saying, oh, President Trump is up 1 point, he's up 2 points. No, it's actually not as close as you think. President Trump ran on not only an America First agenda, but a common sense conservative agenda. The coal miners are out of work. The oil welders are out of work. That is the backbone of our nation. Hillary Clinton ran on putting the coal miners out of work. So did Joe Biden. And who did Joe Biden run with? Kamala Harris. These are people that are detriments to our nation. These are people that are ruining the economy. Hillary Clinton, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, Tim Walz, they're ruining the economy. Western Maryland is all about the coal miners. All about the backbone, connected with Virginia, connected with Pennsylvania. They look at all of this. And West Virginia has a Senate seat up for grabs. West Virginia, 86% of West Virginians vote for President Trump. Guess what? That's where the money is going towards. That's where President Trump is going to be campaigning hard in. Why do you think he's campaigning so hard in Pennsylvania? There are certain states that President Trump and his team are wholeheartedly putting their energy into. Why do you think President Trump was in Bozeman, Montana? Because that is where the energy and the money is going into. Those are the states that need the attention. And President Trump is wholeheartedly spending a lot of attention in Florida as well, because Florida is a powerhouse state. He was just in Atlanta, Georgia, powerhouse state. He needs to win that state. He's doing a lot of stuff in New Jersey as well. He just had a big conference, a press conference in Bedminster, New Jersey, which is one of his humble abodes. But he had 100,000 people in Wildwood, New Jersey. Why would President Trump go to Wildwood, New Jersey? It is an insurance state. It is very important, guys, that we focus on the states that President Trump can wholeheartedly win and will win, not these hardcore liberal states. But there are certain areas and cities and counties that President Trump will be visiting that he can move the needle a little bit. He may not win that state, but he will focus on certain counties and cities, like the Bronx, for example, like certain areas in New York. Like there's a beautiful report where it said 50% of New York Jews are seeing the light now. They're starting to hashtag Jexit and leave the Democratic Party, and they're going to vote for Donald Trump. Former Congressman Lee Zeldin, personal friend of mine, he ran for governor of New York. He went to some of the deepest liberal cities in Manhattan. His political consultant told him not to go there. And he went against his political consultant and said, I'm going in there because I'm looking at these numbers between me and Hochul, and I can pull some of those people. And he was very close to winning, Congressman Zeldin. And he went into the deepest, darkest liberal areas of Manhattan. And that's what President Trump is doing too. Glenn Youngkin won Virginia because he went into some of those very liberal counties like Loudoun County and Fairfax. He didn't win those counties. He knew he wasn't going to win them, but he needed a certain percentage to get over the hurdle, to get over the hump. That's what President Trump is doing. That's what his team is doing. That is how you win. That is how you win. That's why he went to Wildwood, New Jersey. That's why he's going to Atlanta, Georgia. So he's going to certain liberal cities, liberal counties. But he's not putting all of his flux and all of his money into a whole entire liberal state that he may not necessarily win. Or he's not going to put his money into a certain candidate in a certain liberal state because he's strategizing very wisely now. He's putting all the money into Pennsylvania because he needs Pennsylvania. He's putting all of his money and his resources into Michigan, into Wisconsin, into Georgia, into Florida, into Montana, into North Carolina, into South Carolina, Texas. He's been going to Las Vegas and Arizona a lot. He needs those flip seats. He needs Kerry Lake to take that seat for him. He needs the guy in Nevada to help him over the hurdle. And he's bringing back the people that he worked with in 2016. He brought back Corey Lewandowski. He's bringing back Tim Murtaugh. He's bringing back Taylor Budovich. He's bringing back all these people from 2016 back onto his team to help him win. Because this is crunch time, guys. And he's asking for everyone's help. He wants the grassroots coalition now to build like never before. That's how he won in 2016. That's how he won in 2020. And also the coalitions and the clubs that you join, he wants those clubs and coalitions to actually do something, make a difference. He's an actions guy, President Trump. He wants action. That's why he said to the African-American community, what the hell do you have to lose? That's why he's building all of these African-American communities. We'll talk later in the show about a Jewish coalition that he just formed. But he wants those coalitions to do something. He wants them to do the work. Don't just say you're going to do it. Actually do it. Don't say you're going to put a rally together and don't do anything later on. And don't use President Trump's name for gain. Don't use his name to limelight. Don't use his name to get 5 steps ahead in life. He doesn't like that. He doesn't like to be used. He likes loyalty and sincerity. It's not all about you. It's about the cause. It's about our country. It's about getting our country back on track. It's about not paying $10 for toilet paper. not paying $6 for gas. It's about getting married and having a family and looking good again and not being stressed out and having migraines. It's about the Constitution. And it's very important who we have in office. It's very important that we make sure that we have people in office that care about this country. They don't just care about themselves, but care about this country and care about their constituents. That's why I'm a big advocate for my congressman down in Sarasota County. I knew him when he was a state rep. I knew him when he was a state senator. And of course, I know him now that he's a congressman, and I worked with him. And I worked with him because he listened to me, he listened to my family, and he listened to his constituents. He endorsed President Trump because the majority of his constituents back and support and love President Trump. And the bills that he passes and the things that he pushes is because he calls upon his constituents and he says, is this a good idea? Should I go this way? Should I go that way? What should I do? Should I sign this bill? Should I not sign that bill? He really asks us, which is what I love about him. Same thing with President Trump. When you're at his rallies, he says we. He doesn't say I, never. He always says we. We are in this together. I'm doing this for we, the people, for us. He always says I could go back to my luxurious life. I didn't have to run again. I could have just went back to Mar-a-Lago and just lived my life. But I'm doing this because our country is going to hell. And I'm not going to give up on you. I'm not going to give up on our country. We started this movement together. And we're going to continue fighting together. He said, remember, they're not coming for me. They're coming for you. And I'm just standing in the way. So it's very important this primary day, Tuesday, August 20th, that you go out and you vote. That you vote the right way. That you vote to keep your incumbent congressman in office that you feel represents you. That you vote for amendments that you feel represent you. And that in November, you vote, and I'm going to say, for the man, President Trump. You go out and you vote for him. Because I know in the back of my mind, regardless of what party you're affiliated with, Republican, Democrat, Independent, I know in everybody's mind that he represents you. And we'll be right back after the break.
Born in the coastal plains of South Texas, Smoking Gun Coffee is founded by combat veterans that know exactly what a cup of coffee needs to taste like. Run by father and son, each coffee bean is perfected, roasted at 500 degrees, and cooled with a Gulf Coast breeze. Smoking Gun Coffee hand makes and bags each ounce of coffee for maximum customer satisfaction. With every purchase, 10% goes back to organizations that help veterans and local communities. That's Texas made, one bag at a time. To find out more, go to www.smokingguncoffee.com.
Hey everyone, this is Alexandra Levine with Alexandra 360. So again, August 20th, primary day. Polls start, I think it's 7 a.m. all night till about 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. Do not forget to vote. So, of course, election season is coming. So in 2020, they hit us with a COVID pandemic. And I was actually in Maryland during that time. I was working with an elected official who you all know, Tim Fazenmaker. He was running for Congress at the time. And it was in July. And they were, oh my God, shenanigans like no other. And most of his constituents, they like to vote on the day. They don't do mail-in ballots. They don't do ballot harvesting or any of that crap, that they were having in Maryland. and they weren't doing absentee or anything like that. So people were going to the ballot box, or to the ballot box, excuse me, and they were going up to vote for Tim, and people were saying to Tim, the election people are saying to Tim's voters, well, you already voted. And they're like, no, we didn't. And they're like, yeah, we have a record that you already filled out a ballot, and yeah, you already voted. And they're like, no, we came to vote here on the day. And they're like, well, you can fill out a provisional ballot. May get counted, may not get counted. And Tim actually had the most provisional ballots out of all of the 8 other people, or excuse me, I think it was 7 other people that were running against him that day. There was also issues with where people were to go on the day of election, or the election day, excuse me, because the problem was that all the precincts were mixed into one, all the districts were mixed into one, because there was only one in-person place that you could go to. So, like, for example, like, if you were voting for like district, like in Baltimore County, there was only one place you could go to vote for in Baltimore County. There's only one place you could go to vote for in Anne Arundel County. It was like it was just the Board of Elections. It was crazy. And of course, Baltimore City had the worst problems. There was a guy named Zeke Cohen. I think he is now he's running for the Baltimore City County president. He just beat Nick Mosby. But he was the district, one of the district councilmen at the time. And he's the incumbent. And he got like 96 votes, which is unheard of. I mean, he was the incumbent. And there was a lot of shenanigans. And Brandon Scott, who's now the current mayor, he was running for mayor at the time. And there was a lot of shenanigans going on with the mayoral race. And there was, I think, maybe like 10 or 15 people running in that race. And it's interesting how Brandon Scott's team got to be inside from day one, the minute they were counting the ballots till the end. And everybody else's team tried to get in. Republican teams tried to get in. They couldn't get in. I'm the campaign manager for Tim. Tim's the candidate. We couldn't even get in until about a week and a half after all the ballots were being counted. A week and a half after, because they said COVID. They only allowed 11 people at the time to watch the ballots being counted. And there was tremendous discrepancies. I can tell you they did not count all the ballots. I can tell you people were in there wearing a Kamala Harris shirt or a Biden shirt, Kamala Harris mask, which is illegal, by the way. There was a guy sleeping while he was counting the ballots. I reported all of this, by the way. I reported this to the Board of Elections. I reported this to Trump's team. They all know this. This is all written record. Tim and I reported it. It's all reported. But of course, nothing was ever done. And again, this pandemic ruined elections nationwide. It ruined the outcome. And that's why Joe Biden is in the White House. We all know that President Trump won. Again, the secret is out. And there are reports that certain people, like a lot of people, believe that Sheila Dixon did win that primary mayoral race against Brandon Scott, because all of a sudden 1,200 votes were found for Brandon Scott and him alone. All of a sudden, almost 2 weeks later. And now he's the mayor, and now he's running for mayor again. He's up for re-election. And I'll be honest, he's the worst mayor ever. He has ruined Baltimore City. The crime in Baltimore City is a disgrace, and it's disgusting. I have so many friends that live in Baltimore City, and people have left Baltimore City because of it. And now Baltimore County, unfortunately, is starting to become Baltimore City because it's starting to trickle over. And it's really sad. It's very, very, very sad. And the fact that Brandon Scott would be reelected is very dangerous. It's dangerous to people that live in Baltimore City. And again, the same people are getting reelected over and over and over again. And why? Why are we reelecting the same people that are ruining the cities, that are ruining the counties? And then just turning a blind eye when you see, the elections getting stolen right from under you. Or why don't you push the good guy in? Why do you always push the bad guy in? And the media and Hollywood and everyone knew that Biden was not the good guy, that Biden had dementia. Kamala Harris knew Biden had dementia. We all know this. But they still pushed him anyway. And now all of a sudden, after his debate, the horrible debate, oh my God, the guy's got dementia. We all knew this. This was all planned. This was all part of the plan. This was all part of Obama and George Soros's plan. But now we have another epidemic. I mean, it came out maybe a couple years ago, but now it's back again. Monkeypox. Oh, let's read this. Danish monkeypox vaccine maker Bavarian Nordic surged as much as 17% on Thursday. This is last Thursday. The company's two-day gain extended to 31% at highs after the WHO, we love them not, declared monkeypox a public health emergency. Other stocks in the health space also jumped worldwide on the news. So now there's surges of monkeypox worldwide. Worldwide surges of monkeypox. Remember what monkeypox was? Leads to flu-like symptoms, pus-filled lesions, mild but can kill, and it can infect children, pregnant women, people with weakened immune systems, such as those with HIV and AIDS. And the first outbreaks, of course, were in Africa and the Congo. And then last Thursday and Friday, they found traces of monkeypox in Sweden and Pakistan. And guess what? They found traces of monkeypox in San Francisco. Very liberal area with a very liberal socialist governor, Gavin Newsom. So is Gavin Newsom going to start masking the people of California again? Remember what he did to California? He masked everyone for like 3 to 4 years. And the people of California have actually left. He has lost so much population in that state. People of California have moved to Texas. They've moved to Florida. They've moved to Oklahoma. They've hashtag had enough. And then they masked, the kids. Kids were kicked out of school. They mandated the vaccines for years in California. California's a mess. That's where Nancy Pelosi lives, supposedly. Maxine Waters, all those people, all those crazies. So it starts, this is what the WHO does. It starts overseas, in Africa, in Europe, in the Middle East. They shut them down. They hibernate them. They mandate the vaccines. They mandate the masks. They close the schools down. They close everything. Then the minute it comes to America, then you get the Dr. Fauci's of the world again. Let's mask you up again. Let's mandate a vaccine. Let's social distance. Let's ruin your life. It's election season. They're doing everything they can to hurt Donald Trump, to prevent him from winning again. I think the American people are smart enough not to fall for this again. I'm hoping. I'm praying. I believe in the American people. I believe in we the people. There's a Facebook group that says, we do not comply. And I hope you don't comply with this crap. But again, I feel for the people that live in states with very liberal governors, liberal senators, liberal congressmen that will shut you down. Because if you look at the demographics from 2020 and 2019, and even rhino governors that shut your state down and kept you locked down for 3 years. And it was rhino governors that allowed very liberal socialist county executives and mayors to keep you locked down for 3 to 4 years. Remember that too, when you go into that ballot box. Remember the governors that kept you locked down for years. Remember the governors that allowed their county executives, their county commissioners, their mayors, to allow their cities and their counties to be locked down for years. Not just a month or two, for years. Remember how they locked down your kids from interacting with other kids. And the more that they lock you down, the more it lowers your immune systems, by the way. Those are proven facts. Remember those governors that wouldn't allow you to get ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine. Remind yourself of those governors and those mayors and those county executives that ruined your kids' education, that ruined your life as a parent, or that, I don't know, got you fired from your job, that you were on unemployment, and you're still on unemployment. Remember when we all couldn't get toilet paper? Remember when the ration of things was low? It was horrible. I was in Maryland during the pandemic. It was terrible. I couldn't see my parents for almost a year. Again, I was working on a campaign. I couldn't go anywhere, couldn't do anything. It was horrible. Nobody wants to live like that again. But let me tell you something. The WHO isn't the be-all, end-all. Dr. Fauci was not the be-all, end-all. But don't forget, Joe Biden mandated you guys to be vaccinated, mandated you guys to wear the masks, and Kamala Harris was right behind him. Again, going into that ballot box is very important. Very important. I really hope that you guys look at this. I really hope that you guys look at this. I know there's a silent majority out there. I know there's people that will not say who they're going to vote for. But it's very, very important that we are careful who we vote for. And don't just throw your hands up and say, well, I live in a liberal state, or well, I live in a liberal county, liberal city. Nothing I can do. My vote really doesn't count. Your vote does count, and your vote does matter. And minorities especially, your vote counts more this time than ever. But my question to my audience is, are you afraid of monkeypox? Are you afraid of another global pandemic? Are you going to stay home? Are you going to comply? Are you going to go out and get a monkeypox vaccine? Get your children monkeypox vaccinated? If you're pregnant, are you going to go get a monkeypox vaccine? You know, when you're pregnant, you're not supposed to take Advil, Tylenol, Topamax, Adderall. But a monkeypox vaccine, a COVID vaccine, that's okay when you're pregnant. There's a lot of things you can't take when you're pregnant. But a monkeypox vaccine, a COVID vaccine, something that was barely on the market, that's okay to take when you're pregnant. I know women that are pregnant that don't take anything. They have a migraine headache, they just put a wet towel over their head. They just deal with it. Or they'll take natural supplements. When you're pregnant, you really shouldn't take anything because it could harm the baby. It could harm you. And if you have a child and you give them a vaccine that's only been out on the market for 6 months, 9 months, a year, that could affect your child later on. Your child could grow up and have problems. I've talked to parents that have said, I gave my child the COVID vaccine. I gave them this vaccine, that vaccine. I didn't really read up on it. And now they're slow in school, or they have autism now. Don't be a follower, be a leader. Trust your own self. I go to a lot of these doctors, my primary care. They're trying to put me on medications that have only been out on the market for a year or two. And I say, no, I'm not going to be that person that is going to give you that kickback. I'm not going to go on some medication that's only been out on the market for a year. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do my own research. I know everyone says, trust your doctor. Sometimes you have to trust yourself. Just because NIH, WHO, HHS tells you all these things doesn't mean you have to just say, yes, I believe them. Sometimes you have to trust yourself and trust God. And we'll be right back after the break.
Do you have old home videotapes that you're no longer able to watch? Need them transferred to DVD, Blu-ray, or your smart device? Baltimore Digital offers professional-grade VHS, mini DV, and high 8 digitizing services. We can also convert Super 8mm film too. Baltimore Digital also provides photo restoration services. Visit archive.baltimoredigital.net. Mention code Alexandra for a 10% introductory discount.
Hi, everyone. This is Alexandra Levine again with Alexandra 360 coming to you from Florida. Again, primary day, August 20th. Don't forget to vote. Vote for your incumbent congressman that represents you, your incumbent state representatives, state senators, state house representatives, everybody. Election people, Ron Turner, your election board of election people, school board, everybody that's on the ballot. Be very cognizant of the amendments. What I forgot to mention earlier is there are 2 new amendments in Florida. Specifically, there is one on abortion. Actually, there's 2 abortion rights amendments, and there's one for recreational marijuana. They did legalize medical marijuana in the state of Florida, and they have been legalizing recreational marijuana pretty much throughout the country. To each their own. How you feel about that, I'm not going to give an opinion on that. In addition to the abortion rights, to each your own, I'm not going to give an opinion on that either. Because those are 2 subjects that, I have a lot of friends that are very indifferent about that. A lot of friends that have given me, very different opinions on how they feel on that. And I have friends that are more libertarian conservative. I have friends that have a more moderate Republican approach to that, moderate Democrat approach to that. So please just read the bills. If you do have any questions, you can always message me, Alexandra Levine, on Facebook. You can X me on Alexandra LEVI20 if you have any questions. And I will be there. Everyone will. I'll be there throughout the whole week in Florida, so you can always ask me about these bills from today on. But just really read them. And again, if you have any questions, you can always message me. I'm always here for you. And you can always call your legislators too, because 4 out of these 6 bills were written by legislators. So contact your legislators, email them. We're very good here in Florida. They will respond. They will write you back. You can always contact the Republican Party of Sarasota. They're very good. Jack Brell, he will write you back. And you can always contact your Sarasota County commissioners. They will also write you back. That's the beauty of the state of Florida, is we're on top of it. And also you can message Governor Ron DeSantis, Lieutenant Governor Jeanette Nunez. You can also contact Attorney General Ashley Moody. These people are very efficient and they will get back to you at a moment's notice. I know from personal experience, but please contact your elected officials if you have any questions on anything, if you need any clarifications on anything. So August 15th in Bedminster, New Jersey, and this is a strong topic that I talk about every single show that I do. I'm 100% Jewish. I will always talk about it. I'm very proud of my faith. I love my faith, especially now more than ever. I work with the organization Jexit Inc. Siggy Flicker is our Jexit spokesperson. Michelle Lubin-Terrace is the hashtag Jexit president and founder. And both of those wonderful ladies were in the beautiful presence of President Donald J. Trump in Bedminster, New Jersey, August 15th, where President Trump and Vance, their campaign launched, and we'll put it up here, quote, Jewish Voices for Trump Coalition. So today, President Trump, he announced Jewish Voices for Trump. It's a coalition of thought, business trailblazers, foreign administration officials, authors, influencers, and those within the Jewish community. United by its faith and heritage, the Jewish Voices for Trump Coalition recognizes the dangerous rise in radical leftist anti-Semitism in our streets and on our college campuses, and the historic achievements President Donald Trump made towards the strength and stability of the Jewish community, both at home and abroad. When President Trump returns to the White House, he is committed in the process of restoring peace and prosperity, not just for the Jewish people, not just for the state of Israel, but for the entire world. For those in the Jewish community who feel politically homeless, for those who have been betrayed by the Biden administration's many flip-flops on the safety and security of the Jewish community in the state of Israel, you do have a home. It's with the Republican Party, with President Donald Trump. Quote, Jewish Voices for Trump comes together with one voice to make sure that President Trump becomes the next president of the United States. So this is a very, very good coalition. And I was a national faith leader for President Trump. President Trump actually had prayer circles in the White House. I was on every single conference call in regards to faith. I was involved with a lot of the conference calls when President Trump was in coordination with Bibi Netanyahu in regards to the Abraham Accords. The Abraham Accords is something that needs to be brought back. They don't even talk about it in the State Department today. When Bibi Netanyahu came to the halls of Congress, he said, we need to change it from the Abraham Accords to the Abraham Alliance, which I wholeheartedly agree. And this was in agreement, in a treaty in accordance with Israel, Bahrain, and the United States, Israel, Bahrain, and Sudan, Israel, Bahrain, and Morocco, Israel, Bahrain, and UAE. It is such a joy as a Jew to now fly to UAE, because we as Jews couldn't do that. It is such a joy as a Jew to fly to Sudan, to Bahrain. We as Jews couldn't do that. And Saudi Arabia was actually next on the list. And when President Trump gets back into the White House, Saudi Arabia will be signing the Abraham Alliance, which is what President Trump and Netanyahu, I'm sure, I can't speak for them because I wasn't there, but I'm sure that was one of the discussions that they had when Bibi Netanyahu went to Mar-a-Lago and hung out with President Trump. And that was a beautiful moment, because I doubt that Kamala and Bibi Netanyahu had that same conversation. Again, at the State Department, they didn't like the word Abraham. They said it was too biblical. They haven't done anything with the Abraham Accords. They haven't extended the treaties, and they haven't even talked to Saudi Arabia about it. They claim that they did, but that's a lie. Jared Kushner is President Trump's son-in-law. He's had a very strong relationship with Saudi Arabia for many years. They've done many business dealings with Jared Kushner has done many business dealings with Saudi Arabia over the years. So Jared Kushner was one of the signatories for the Abraham Accords, working with Saudi Arabia, working with UAE, working with Bahrain and Sudan, and many others. My former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo was involved with that. Rick Grenell, even Bill Barr was involved with it. Peter Navarro was involved. I mean, I was on all these conference calls with all these big players, and they'll be back on. They will be back on. But it's really disheartening to me that when President Trump was in the White House, there was peace in the Middle East. Biden takes office. Now there's hell and high water in the Middle East. The Taliban is on the rise. We have, Hezbollah on the rise, attacking Israel now. Iran about to go into World War III with Israel. What happened in Afghanistan was disgusting. The pullout was just horrible. It was an embarrassment to our nation. Our foreign leaders laughing at us. October 7th would have never happened under President Trump. Never. Never. And the disrespect that Kamala Harris and Biden gave to Bibi Netanyahu when he came here and spoke in the halls of Congress. Again, as a Jewish American, take party out of it. Take party out of it. Witnessing and watching American flags being taken down, burned to the ground, and Palestinian flags being put up in front of Union Square is disgusting. And President Trump has said any Jewish person that votes Democrat should have their head examined. And people say, Democrats say, that's too harsh. You shouldn't say that. That's terrible. That's terrible. You shouldn't say that. But you know what? He's got a point. If you're Jewish and you support Israel and you love Israel, you love your faith, why vote Democrat? You know that President Trump is one of the biggest supporters of Israel. And he is the most pro-Israel president we've ever had in the history of our nation. Has Kamala Harris and Tim Walz formed a Jewish Voices for Harris or Jewish Voices for Walz or a Jewish coalition? No. Because they think that they got the Jewish vote in the bag. Why is President Trump coming for the Jewish vote so hard? Why is he saying to our Jewish brothers and sisters, come to our side. Stand with me. I stand with you. They have Trump Golan Heights. They have Trump Heights in the Golan Heights. What more does President Trump have to do to let the Jewish people know that he loves you and he supports you? The American Israelis love Trump. The Israeli Americans love Trump. They vote for him. 98% they vote for him. I have so many American Israeli friends. They made Aliyah. They have dual citizenship. They still vote in our elections. They vote 92% for Trump. They're in Israel right now. They say, why aren't Jewish Americans voting for Trump? Why aren't they voting Republican? Why are they voting for the Jamie Raskins of the world, the Chuck Schumers of the world, the Jerry Nadlers of the world? This is insane. What the hell is going on? When October 7th happened, it brought a lot of Jewish people together. I have a lot more Jewish friends now because of October 7th, regardless of political party. If that didn't change people's minds to vote for Trump, I don't know what will. Tim Walz is backed and supported by the, quote, progressive left, by the Bernie Sanders and the squad of this nation. Ilhan Omar won her primary. She will probably get reelected. Now, AIPAC has done their job, and they primaried out 2 squad leaders, but in my opinion, it was not enough. They have the money to get rid of these squad leaders. They should get rid of AOC. They should get rid of Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib permanently. They should have gotten rid of them earlier, in my opinion. They have the money. You do not wait till they get in and they've already committed the havoc. Rashida Tlaib is funded by Hamas. Chris Van Hollen, he's the senator in Maryland. He's funded by J Street, which is an anti-Semitic group. Get him out. You shouldn't have been reelected. Bernie Sanders should not be reelected. Anybody that stands with anti-Semitic groups, Jamie Raskin of Maryland, why is he going to be reelected? Where's AIPAC to get rid of him? Where is AIPAC to primary him out? Where is AIPAC working with the Republican to get Jamie Raskin out? Now we have Jewish Voices for Trump, a coalition, which I know in my heart will do the work. Because these are groups that do the work. I know the people that are involved, I'm involved in it. They will do the work. And it's not just Jewish voices that are involved in this group. We have Christian voices that are involved too. Because when they come for Jews, they come for Christians too. But Jamie Raskin stands with CARE, an anti-Semitic group that is supported by Hamas and the Muslim Brotherhood. Muslim Brotherhood, their names have been popping up recently. Oh, you know why? Because Tim Walz supports a cleric that is involved with the Muslim Brotherhood. Huma Abedin's mother is a part of the Muslim Brotherhood. Huma Abedin is engaged to Alex Soros. Alex Soros' father is George Soros. Do you see the connection? I'm going to keep pounding it and pounding it and pounding the narrative until Jewish people vote Republican in November. And not just in November, but beyond. But these coalitions, Jewish are going to last and last and last longer than all of these elected officials. But people need to know that Kamala Harris and Walz are very anti-Israel. They associate themselves with anti-Israel people. Again, Tim Walz praises these Muslim clerics who have ties to the Muslim Brotherhood and Hamas and Hezbollah and Al-Aqsa Martyr Brigade and Islamic Jihad. It's disgusting that I'm even saying this, but it's the truth. I also want to inform everybody that I'm also part of the One Jewish State, which is which was formed by former ambassador to Israel, David Friedman, who will probably be the ambassador again once President Trump gets back in. And I will be involved with the elections in March of 2025. I'm a delegate for the One Jewish State, and I'm so excited. And I thank my founder and president, Michelle Lubin-Terrace, of Jexit for getting me involved in this, in the world, or in the One Jewish State, excuse me. So I really thank her for that. But again, these are groups, coalitions that are doing the work. But we need to do the work. Also, my good friend Brandon Struck, he just came out with a brand new video. He is the founder of #WalkAway. He started it in 2018. It is a movement, a huge movement, and it just grew bigger than it ever did. And we actually have a tweet about the #WalkAway movement. There it is. 6 years later, why is still #walking from the Democratic Party? On May 26th, 2018, Brandon Struck shared a video about why he was walking away from the Democrat Party. That video went viral, and he launched the hashtag Walkaway campaign, a movement that led to hundreds of thousands of people sharing their own stories and videos of walking away from liberalism and the political left. Now, 6 years later, Brandon follows up his original video with the first ever, quote, sequel to it. In this new video, Brandon states in rapid fire succession all that the left has done to erode and destroy our culture, our country, our values, and our freedom. From the left's war on reality to their presumed ownership of minorities, to bringing authoritarianism to America, to weaponizing our justice system, this video speaks to all of it and then some. And you can go on Brandon Struck's Twitter at Brandon Struck, and you can watch the video. There it is. Once upon a time, I was a liberal. We tried to put it up. For some reason, it wasn't converting. But you can go on his Twitter and you can watch it. It is a beautiful, amazing video. I love it. It is beautiful. The way he tied everything together. Brandon Struck got completely screwed on January 6th. He wasn't even involved in January 6th. And because it's Brandon Struck, there was selective editing happening with a body cam of a police officer. And they claimed that he said stuff that he didn't and that he incited violence. They called him an insurrectionist. He had like FBI coming to his house. He got arrested in his home of Nebraska. I mean, the guy has been through years of hell. And I felt so bad for him. I still feel bad for him, but he has come out on top, and he'll win in the end. He is winning. And the people, the hashtag Walkaway movement people have been so loyal to him. And when he first started this movement, I mean, I just fell in love with him and his idea. And I feel so bad for him. I felt so bad for him, but he, what I really love about him is he's just a very genuine human being. And he just, he exposed the mainstream media for their propaganda, and he continues to do it every day. Everything he says comes from the heart. Everything that's happened to him is real. It's not staged. What happened to him was real, and he relives it in his mind every single day. And we need to support Brandon Struck. We need to stand by Brandon Struck. We need to support his movement, because these movements, the hashtag Walkaway, the Jexit, the Jewish Voices for Trump, all of these movements are going to last a lot longer than a lot of these elected officials out there. A lot of these senators, a lot of these limelighters. These movements is what makes this country great. These, what they call these grassroots coalitions. That's why President Trump was so great. He formed all of these grassroots coalitions. And it's funny because Democrats were against all these grassroots coalitions. Rhinos were against all these grassroots coalitions. But guess what? They work. The Democrats are all about money, 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 raising millions and millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars. Hillary Clinton, she outraised President Trump, but guess what? She still lost. And Kamala Harris, she may outraise President Trump, but guess what? She is going to lose. She is going to lose. I mean, I know she's going to cheat like hell. Let's just admit it. They're going to cheat like hell. That's why they have all these illegal immigrants in here. They're going to freaking cheat like hell. But we're not going to make that happen. We're not going to allow that to happen. We are not going to allow that to happen. Because all of these coalitions, all of these movements, we are getting out the vote to get people to vote. And we're going to secure that damn vote. We're going to secure it. It's very important that we vote in November. Your vote counts, your voice counts, and your voice matters. As a Jewish woman, I am a minority. But the minorities, their votes count even more now than ever. I want a strong surge of Jewish people voting Republican in November. I want a strong surge. I get asked the question all the time, why do Jews always vote Democrat? I'm tired of hearing that question. I'm tired of hearing it, to be honest with you. Let's prove everybody wrong. I want more Jewish people involved with Jewish Voices for Trump. I want more people involved with these movements, these coalitions, and clubs that make a difference. I just want to do a quick shout out to my friends in Frederick County, the Frederick County Conservative Club. That is a club that makes a difference. They've done massive rallies around the Maryland area. The president, Fred Profiter, great friend of mine. The vice president treasurer, who is also a personal friend of mine and also is a part of this network, Seth Eisenberg. He is on the Conservative Corner every Sunday night at 7 p.m. on the Patriots Prayer Network. Don't forget to listen to him every Sunday night, 7 p.m. Patriots Prayer, Conservative Corner, Seth Eisenberg. And that's what it's all about. It's all about making a difference. And we also have wonderful, great people on the Patriots Prayer. Please follow us on the Patriots Prayer at Rumble, that at the Patriots Prayer. Follow us at X, at the Patriots Prayer on X. You can also follow me personally, Alexandra Levine, on Facebook. My personal X is at Alexandra LEVI20. My Rumble is at AR Levine 85. But please follow the Patriots Prayer on Rumble, because that's where you can see all of our live stream videos, and everything is updated all the time. But this has been a great hour, guys. And again, I will be in Florida for the next couple of weeks. I will be involved in the Florida primaries there. I'll be involved in Florida politics there. I'm an elected official down there, but I'm also, again, a delegate for the One Jewish State down there with former Ambassador David Friedman. And what the beauty of being down in Florida is I've gotten a lot of Jewish Democrats to hashtag leave the Democratic Party. They're going to be voting in that Florida primary with me, that closed Republican primary with me. And they're going to be high-fiving me and saying, thank you for making me a Republican. Thank you for letting me see the light. But I'll also be seeing some Jewish Democrats too that will be voting for Trump in November. And they're going to say to me, I'm voting for Trump in November. Thank you very much. Thank you for all the work that you do. And again, this is Alexandra Levine with Alexandra 360. And the reason you listen and the reason you watch is you are no idiot.